Rock Talk. Oh, we love to talk about music on arrow.net, ARROE.net. All right, let's do it. Let's play it forward. These are real people, real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 402 is with Rocker Ron Keel.
Good afternoon. This is Ron Keel reporting for duty.
You and that voice.
Man, it's all I got left. The voice, and I'm excited to talk to you. Thanks for the call and the opportunity.
All right, see you later.
All right, it's been great, man. Let's do it again next year.
Dude, you've always had the best sense of humor.
Man, you got to in this business. You got to have a sense of humor, and I enjoy life and every opportunity and every song, every moment. So, that sense of humor goes along with it.
Absolutely. And I love the way you say business, because with RFK Media now, you are the music business.
Well, the music always comes first. Mm-hmm. But in order to make a life out of it and a career, you've got to be able to take care of business. And finally, I got tired of riding in the back seat, man. I want to drive. So I formed my own label, RFK Media, to be the home for all of my projects and products from here on out.
See, I love that, because that to me is a new page in music history.
The past few years, I've appreciated the opportunities from EMP label group, David Ellison's label that signed us in 2018. We released Fight Like a Band on EMP the following year. And then Highball Music, Bill Chavis, a man who was very well loved and well known in our industry, and we had been friends for 20 years. Wow. I really loved working with him. He passed away. He and his wife both, Lori, they both passed away from COVID-19 in August of last year. And all of a sudden, not only I lost two of my dearest friends to COVID, but there's no more business. There's no more deal. There's no more label. What do I do next? And I looked around at my options and decided that I would just take the bull by the horns, man. I've got the experience, the knowledge, the track record, and it is expensive. It's a huge investment financially, and also it's a big commitment in regard to my time spent each day working on spreadsheets and business calls, emails, all this stuff, and it's really tough to put the guitar down. I've got guitars. I'm surrounded by music and musical instruments, and I just love to play and sing. But I've got to balance that time and take care of business. And thank goodness it's working, because for the first time in many years, we're on the charts, which we were not able to achieve with EMP or Highball. The Ron Keel Band is now on the media-based chart, jumped from 217 to 60 this week on the media-based chart with our new single, The Right to Rock. And that's not easy. It's not cheap. I mean, we've got to service this product to radio and the fans, the social media presence, the website updates, all the stuff that goes into a successful business. And then again, I've got to sing and play 3 or 4 hours a day, writing songs in the studio, recording new music for the next album as well. So it's man, I am glad February is over. That was the longest 28 days of my life. It was insane. February was 6 months long with the launch of RFK Media, KRFK Radio, the release of KEELED, signing our first act, the 5th, the recording sessions with the guys in the Ron Keel Band and Keel and Steeler and everything else, and the interviews and all the stuff that goes with it. Yeah. So I appreciate it's March, and now I'm flying to Vegas for a show tomorrow night in Las Vegas.
Nice.
And the wheel keeps turning, man. I guess I'll just go along for the ride.
Being up there at the top of the helm there, do you use words today that when you first started out in music, you would have been, what does that person know? But yet you're using the lessons that those that shaped you, planted inside of you?
Absolutely. I think you have to learn from the best. And I was taught by all the people that I've worked with in the industry. And Gene Simmons comes to the top of my mind when you talk about mentors and people that taught me so much about business. And Gene, produced the first 2 Keel records. He was a rock star, a singer, a songwriter, an entertainer, but he also had a really good handle on the business. He taught me so much about merchandising and recording and writing songs and recording great albums, and the list goes on. I mean, I've had a lot of great mentors. Bill Chavis from High Vol Music, who I just mentioned, who passed away last August from COVID, taught me a lot. And I felt like I could use that knowledge and experience to kind of take the wheel and be in control. As everybody says, I'm a self-proclaimed control freak anyway, and I don't mind working for, and I love being produced. That's why I've worked with guys like Gene Simmons, Michael Wagner, Pat Reagan, Paul Shortino, people that have produced my recordings in the past. I love being coached and produced. But there comes a time when, and even still now in the studio, with a new engineer and co-producer, Scott Gibbon, who's working on this new project with me. He is working with me for the first time, and he's very. I'm paying the bill, and he is very reserved, and I'm trying to coax it out of him. Scott, tell me when I suck. If it's not good, tell me. And he's afraid to. I think he's afraid to tell me. Let's try that again. That was a little pitchy. This is a little sloppy. Whatever. He just. He's learning how to work with me, but I love being coached, produced, managed, all that. But with RFK Media, I'm in the driver's seat, and so far so good.
When you have a song like "The Right to Rock," I mean, it's one of those songs that's very anthem-esque. I mean, and people are jamming to it in the way that it's more than just an earbud song. It's in the car, and they're cranking it. What is that like for you as that songwriter? That you know that you've got your hands on a piece of music here that people are they're gonna label it their own.
It is the best and worst of times, Arrow, because we wrote that song in '84.
Wow.
It was the title track to our debut major label album, The Right to Rock, of course, in '85. And when we were recording it, Gene Simmons looked over at me. We're sitting side by side behind the mixing console. He says, "You know you're going to be singing this song for the rest of your life, right?" I go, I just didn't expect to live this long. I mean, it's 36 years later now. And the cool thing about that song is that we've continued to play it in every project, Keel, of course, and my other bands, Iron Horse, Fair Game, the Ron Keel Band. And we get a lot of fans out there at these big events that maybe weren't even born when that song was first released.
So true.
And by the end of the song, they're all out there singing along with their fists in the air. Yep. That universal message, the right to rock. It is, as I said, the best case scenario to have an anthem song like that to become your signature, your calling card, so to speak. But on the flip side, it's really tough to follow it up. Been chasing it all my life, for the last 36 years, looking for another one that has that simple, timeless message about freedom of expression. The right to rock means the right to do what is in your heart.
Yep.
I mean, it's about that freedom of expression, and it's a universal message that you just can't match up to. You can never live up to that. So thank goodness for the new generation, we've been able to re-record it, re-release it with the Ron Keel Band, and it still has all those signature elements. The new version has, quote, the scream, unquote, at the top. And man, I tell you, everybody said, well, you've got to do the scream. You've got to do the scream. And I went back in the studio for this remix, and I was bound and determined to hit that high note. I think it's a high A. If you're on the guitar, it's like the 42nd fret. There's no 42nd fret on the guitar, but it's really, really, really freaking high. And so I went in the studio one day, and I hit that scream. And not only did I do it once, I did it probably 12 times so I could pick the best one and kind of choose, okay, that's the best one. This one's a little shaky. This one's my voice cracked, or this one's got a little too much vibrato or whatever. But you've got that scream on the new version of The Right to Rock. And God, I only hope I can hit it live when we hit the road this summer. We got some big shows coming up, man. Some big gigs, especially Rock Timber on September 10th with Tom Kiefer from Cinderella and Winger.
Wow.
That is a big show for us, one of these big music festivals. And Rock Timber has become the M3 of the Midwest. So we're really excited to be on the bill that day on Saturday with such a great lineup. Tom Kiefer, Winger, Tony Harnell, and some great opening acts as well. Lillian Axe, Liliac, Burning Witches, and there's one more act on the bill. I don't have my notes in front of me, but what a great event. Get your tickets at rocktimber.net.
The world changing as much as it is over the past 28 months, especially over the past couple of weeks. How does that change you as an artist, or do you just sit back and just observe what's going on and let your creativity find that little place of motivation?
Well, it does. Music is a reflection of our culture, our society, the times. Music should be a reflection of all that. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that artists are not required, but for me personally, the positive message in the music matters. Mm-hmm. I realized this back in 85 when we released The Right to Rock, when that song became an anthem for that generation. They were listening to what I was saying. And now I am writing a song literally as we speak. I took a break for this interview, and once we're done with this conversation, I'll pick up the guitar and finish the tune within the next couple of hours. But It's called When This Is Over. And we started writing this song together with the guys in the band a couple of weeks ago because I got a message from a fan. I believe it was Europe or Australia. And he said, I can't wait to see you guys in concert again when this is over. And that line just jumped off that email, slapped me upside the head. Like, when this is it ever going to be over? It's always one thing after another, one war after another, the pandemic, another enemy to fight. So I'm writing a song today, literally called When This Is Over. And before the war, I guess you call it, in the Ukraine, we started writing this song a couple of weeks ago, and we had no idea that this was imminent. And now, 2 weeks later, with all that we're going through on the news, and I've got the news on right now, it's muted, but we're all riveted to the television or the radio and trying to keep up with it. And man, I can only hope that someday it truly will be over. We've been at war since I was born. And whether it was Vietnam or Korea or 9/11 or the Taliban or COVID, now Russia again. Of course, I went through the Cold War in the 60s when you had these drills and you had to hide under your desk at school in case they drop a nuclear bomb. My desk is going to really protect me, right? and we went through that Cold War. We were one step away from nuclear war with Russia when I was born 60 years ago. And here we are again in the middle of nowhere. And all we can do as entertainers is give people, I don't take politics to the gig. And there are lyrics and songs that do speak my mind in a musical form. There's one on the new album called Hard on the Outside, Heart on the Inside.
Oh, look at that. That's a good play of words.
And because we all build these walls to hide behind. We're all hard on the outside, but we've all got a heart on the inside. And hopefully people will take that message for what it's worth and not look at it or listen to it as being left or right, but human and real. And I hope that I can offer people an hour or two of distraction or diversion from all the crap that's going on in the real world. and entertain them, because that's my mission.
I'm so glad that you said what you just said, because I remember at the start of COVID, I was talking with a bass player in a band, and I mentioned to him, I said that your new album is my escape from COVID, and he exploded on me saying, I did not write this album for COVID. Whoa. And I'm going, dude, I'm telling you, it provides an escape. It's a positive that I just shared, but he took it the other way. So I'm glad that you said that you are providing a 2-hour escape for us.
Well, that music is the best medicine for anything, whether it's bad news or illness or whatever. I mean, music is good medicine. It'll make you feel better. It'll make you think. It'll make you feel something. And I wrestled with that decision when we released our 2020 album, South by South Dakota, in April of that year. I wrestled with it going, man, there's a lot going on now. How do I, first of all, put this music out there and promote it properly and tell people, hey, hope you enjoy our new record. And I realized very quickly that they really needed that music. They needed that distraction, that diversion, and I need it too, man. I love watching a sporting event or a movie or listening to an album. It takes me away for a little while from all the other stuff that we have to deal with in real life, and that's what entertainment should be at its core.
Yeah. Being up there as the leader of RFK Media, does that change you as a songwriter? Does it give you a different point of view or direction?
No, the businessman just takes the guitar out of my hands for way too long. And it is a part of me to entertain people, whether it's hosting a radio show, running a business, writing a book, whatever. The music is always at the core of everything that I do. I don't write songs for other people.
Oh, good.
I write songs for myself. And then out of that batch of songs that I write for Ron, because I have to be creatively fulfilled, out of that batch of songs, I'll find a few that I think, man, I think people might like this. I think this is commercial or relevant, or it might strike a chord in somebody else. A lot of the songs that I write stay in my head or on my hard drive or in my hands. It's not a product. Yeah. There are certain songs that you realize, especially now at this stage of the game and with this new album project, what's going to be the best for our business and give the fans the best possible picture of what Ron Keel Band is all about, because this band is extremely diverse. We play the Keel hits, Right to Rock, Because the Night, Tears of Fire, Here Today, Gone Tomorrow. Those are all part of the show, but this band can do so much more and paint the picture with some different colors. So I want to try and do that with the new music. I want to have a couple of songs that are what I call keelish, those big, heavy driving riffs with the anthem chorus and all that. And I want a couple of songs that are a little more personal, so to speak, that tell stories, that you can tell a story, and you can use some other tones, whether it's a Les Paul on the left side, left speaker, and a Strat or a Kelly on the right speaker. And but no, the business does not affect my songwriting at all. That's a totally separate part of my brain and part of my heart.
Where's the website where people can find out more about you? And tell me, and where they can find that radio station too. What is it that you are you putting up a lot of metal bands? What goes on in that station?
Okay, first of all, the answer to your question is ronkeel.com. That's the one-stop shop, the one hub where everybody can find me and everything that I do. There are links there for all the social media, the radio station, krfkradio.com, and the radio station is just another way for me to entertain people. Yep. It's not a 24/7 commercial for me and my stuff. We play music that people want to hear, hard rock and metal, and we have syndicated programming such as House of Hair with Dee Snider, the Joe Elliott Show with Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. Wow. We're launching a couple of other syndicated programs. It's the best of the best in syndicated programming. You've got Dee Snider, Joe Elliott, and a couple of more launching this month. L.A. Lloyd's Top 30 Rock Countdown, which is a fantastic show. The top 30 modern rock songs each week on krfkradio.com. It's really just another way for me to entertain people and share. We play stuff on the station that I don't want to hear. Trust me. Dude, we even play Yngwie Malmsteen on the station. But it's not about what I want to hear. I'm not listening 24/7. Our people are. Our audience is listening, and we owe it to them to give them what they want at krfkradio.com.
I love it. Do you ever sit there and go and want to say, "Hi, I'm Ron Keel. I'm addicted to creativity"?
Dude, well, I should. I am a creative addict, and that is, man, that I should say that publicly more often, because I think that is the one thing that I really have at the core of my being. It's not talent, man. It's not talent. I grew up in a poor Southern family with not much. I never really had a God-given talent to sing or play or write songs or anything. And every now and then I'll hit a good note, I'll play a good tune, and I'll write a good song. But that creative gene, that desire to be creative, and even now, that manifests itself in the radio show, because that's a creative effort. Even though it's not my music, I'm playing Scorpions. My guest is John Waite from the Babies in Bad English, and I'm it's not my music, but it is a creative effort. I'm trying to build something or create something that people will enjoy, and it starts with me, though. I mean, I have to like it. I want to hear it. I have to please myself when it comes to everything that I do. The music, the book, because, dude, really, I mean, I sold 3 million records. Yep. Right? That means billions of people don't like what I do or don't want to hear it. I'm cool with that. You can't please everybody, man. You got to please yourself, and then hopefully some other people will, it'll resonate. It'll strike a chord with these fans. And on our Patreon site, patreon.com/Ron Keel, which is my VIP inner circle fan club, where fans pay $6.99 a month for all access, and they get the best of what I've got. They get the behind the scenes, making the movie, and I'm starring in a new film, and I took the camera with me on location last week. The radio show, the behind the scenes at the studio, they're hearing the new songs, just a dry run through before the song's even recorded, sharing that stuff with my subscribers at patreon.com/Ron Keel is a huge thrill and a big part of what I do. So I encourage everybody, check it out. $6.99 for a month, and if you don't like it, you can cancel it at any time. But most people stick around and enjoy the ride. It's become way bigger than me. It's about the fans and their relationship, not only with me, but with each other. It's a tribe, and very proud that we can present that kind of thing online on Patreon. All those links are at ronkeel.com if anybody's interested.
I love it. I love your energy. Dude, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
I appreciate that, Arrow. Thank you so much for having me back on Unplugged and Totally Uncut. Keep up the great work, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to share some time with you and your listeners.
Absolutely. You be brilliant today, mister.
I will. I promise. Thank you. You too.